You want to get started, Daria?
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay, I'll let you lead it off.
So first of all, thanks everyone to come in. I know some of you had busy days actually, so I had to actually make time for this webinar, which is a good sign. But again, I don't want you guys to get too comfortable and sit on your laurels. I mean, the idea is to look into the future. So if you're doing well already, you can build on that and take that momentum into the future. And if you feel like you're struggling, or you feel like you want to be busier, or you feel like you want to be at a point in your life and practice where you can cherry pick your patients, where you have that luxury, you can build up that luxury to cherry pick your patients. You know, this is really, you know, what this is about. And so my practice, just a little context, the reason why I decided to do this and have Steve on board, number one, I'm not an expert, so I'm more of an experiential, just from, it's kind of like, you know, when I first learned piano, I just played it through hearing until someone says, maybe you should learn how to play the notes and you can do actually a better job. And that's what I did. And that took me to the next level. So I'm more the guy that just plays through like ear and hearing. And so I thought I'd get like a coach that actually does this for a living and understands the ins and outs of it. And where you don't have to reinvent the wheel like I had to do. Took me literally 2 years. So what I did in 2 years with a professional help like Steve, I feel that you can get there much faster. Now, none of that will ever happen unless you're in it to win it. Like, unless you're all in, it just won't work. So there's one thing about social media that I learned that Steve will actually confirm, is that it's not going to work unless you're in it. It's not going to work unless you're fully committed, and that requires full commitment. So nothing we tell you today will magically bring patients through your doors. Now, at the end of the day, it's your own efforts. So we're trying to give you some tools and tips and guidance, and then expert continuation of guidance through Steve, who has an agency that does that for a living, which, you know, I think the value to me is priceless, knowing how it changed my practice today. Just to give you a little more context, during the pandemic, so I shut my office for about 1 month, 1.5 months. So for about a week, I was contemplating, what should I do? And people like Steve would tell you, is like, what are you sitting around and sipping wine and watching Netflix? Get to work. So someone like me would say, my work, I have to be in my office. I can't work from home. Yes, you can. So I took his advice, and I was so active on social media. I was going on Instagram Live. I was posting stuff. I mean, I was more active actually than I have ever been during the pandemic. And that's what it led to. The day I opened up my office, I was booked for an entire month. And right now, I have patients from out of town. And Steve, we haven't talked about it. In the past 2 weeks, I had 5 patients that flew in.
Wow.
Where do you think they flew in from? It doesn't matter. They flew in because they found me through Instagram and Facebook. And through all my marketing efforts, which are organic or inorganic, they believe, and so they see before and afters. They see who I am, because everything I am on social media is me. And they like me. They like my before and afters. So they decided to travel. That's the bottom line. So you can create fans in New York, in LA, in San Diego, in Richmond. I don't care where it is. You can create fans that then they will actually fly to see you because they like you. They like your product. So you got to showcase what you do. And they like the process based on testimonials, based on your other fans that come and comment on social media. They say, yeah, he's the best, da, da, da. So in a nutshell, that's the goal, right? So Steve is going to give you some pointers, some initial conceptual principles of why social media, because it's important that you understand the concept. Still, just a couple of days ago, I talked to a colleague and I said, hey, you got to post, you got to get on social media. So always the question is, how do you get followers? How do people come to fly in from San Diego to have your surgery done? How are you so busy? Well, it's social media, but then how you do it, as soon as I say you have to do this, you have to post, you have to be active, the first comment, Steve, what they say is like, yeah, but I'm not good at that.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not
Yeah.
good at that, you got to get good at that. Because if you don't get good at that, I mean, you weren't good at dentistry when you started. Heck, you didn't know anything about dental school. You went 4 years to dental school. Some of you did specialty, and still you have to perfect your craft for at least 10 years until you felt comfortable, till you say, I'm a good dentist. So it takes a lot of time. So you got to put in the time. So what I did when I started really getting into social media exactly 2 years ago to the date, it's kind of interesting. I started June 2018. That's when I jumped on the social media bandwagon. Until then, I was totally anti. It took me 2 years to get to this. This is not overnight. So for the first 3 months, I was just consuming. I was just on social media. I was just looking at what others do. Now, Steve is going to take all that away from you. He's going to present it. He's going to give it to you. And you don't have to work as hard. But still, I recommend you to consume because you get a feel. And then you can apply your own personality to it. So I use it. I consume to use it as inspiration. And the best advice I've ever gotten is don't reinvent the wheel. You just look at what the ones are doing that have succeeded and just do the same thing. So with that, I want to, Steve, first of all, thanks, Steve, for coming on. And
Absolutely.
This is something I talked about with my docs for over a year. They begged me. I was like, I'm not an expert. I mean, I just can't tell them what I do, but I want someone professional like you presenting.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm super excited to be here, and I want to talk to you guys. Hey, first, thank you for your time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through some simple steps. I'm going to show you some sample accounts outside of Daria's. Obviously, he does something a little bit different, but these are other physicians that are dentists, orthodontists that are within the dental practices. But I'm going to walk you through a simple step-by-step procedure of really figuring out how to optimize and leverage social media. And then I'm going to share some tools later on at the end. I'm going to give you a bunch of free lessons for a course that I've created. It's a DIY course where you can literally go through it and teach yourself to do Instagram. You need to commit yourself to this. And so let's get started. I'll go ahead and share my screen. And we'll start with, well, there's Daria. And well, first off, Tony Robbins once said that if you're going to be successful, you either need inspiration or desperation. And we live in some crazy times right now. So you may feel desperate. You may feel inspired. This is a really cool post. I'm going to share it.
You see this picture?
There it is.
I can't hear. There's no sound.
It's a little hard to hear that, but basically what he's saying is what's inspiring me today is his patience. It's working with people and changing their lives, giving them confidence. And so what we want to do today is to inspire you guys to make an impact and to leverage social media to take you to the next level. So I'm going to go back to the first slide here. I'll jump all the way back here. Let me jump out of this. This is basically what are the 5 biggest mistakes being made. We'll come back to that. I'm going to go all the way to the front here. It went while we were talking. But so basically how to book more business using social media. We're going to talk to you about a plethora of things, but we want to make it super simple for you to understand how you can leverage social media. And so let's talk first off, why social media? Some of you may have golf appointments. Some of you may have kids to take care of, but if you're not present here for this next 20 minutes, then you're losing a huge opportunity. So those are things that you have to do. Feel free to go do them and then maybe come back and refocus when you have the time. But what we want to talk about is social media. Social media is word of mouth marketing. It is the future of every business that is in this world. It is the new business card. You might have a website. We've built countless websites if you need that. It needs to be updated and maintained. But social media is your word of mouth marketing. Searches are down because people are finding physicians like Daria, like other individuals on social media and saying, oh my gosh, this is an amazing physician. I need to go see him or I need to go see her, because they are building brands. And when you build a brand, nobody's going online and searching for a dentist in Dallas or an orthodontist in Richmond, Virginia. They're searching for you and your brand that you're building. And so social media has 3.5 billion users. They're on it for like 3 hours a day. And 58% actually visit the social page, like Daria's user handle, and look at his links prior to going to your website. So the website is great. You need that. It's informational. People will go to it to double check to see what you have. Social media allows you to convert right then and there. And it has millennials, Gen X, and boomers. And Daria was mentioning earlier, he's seen a 440% boost in business. And so one thing that I want to urge is when someone comes into your practice, ask them, hey, are you on social media? Put a sign up right by your desk. If you don't have a sign, put a sign there that lists your usernames. And when they come in and say, hey, just give us your username, we'd love to connect with you. If they give you that username, you need to follow them and connect with them. Because when you connect with them, you're going to build a lifelong patient for the rest of your life. And so why is now important? Social media, that's Dr. Bill Dorfman. I don't know if you know him. He's America's dentist. We work with him out in LA. But what he did is he actually built a name for himself. And his goal was, look, I want to become the biggest dentist. So he joined a couple of things. He was on TV, but he set some goals for himself. So I ask you to set some goals for yourself right now with this webinar. Learn 1, 2, or 3 things that you can implement. But social media, that content that you're creating is building that brand like we talked about, which will allow people to come to your practice and find you on social media and then give you a call and book them. The average client that we work with, we do social media management. We consult individuals like, Daria, or we actually do it for you. You should be getting at least 25, 30, 40% of your leads and conversions from social media because they're going to see your work. They're going to see that higher standard of care. And so that's where you need a system, a strategy, and a solution. So today, we're talking about some of these things. We're going to talk about a system that you can use. The strategy is going to be on Instagram, and the solution is what you're delivering to them. So if you get one patient and they stay with you for 7 years on a bare minimum of $1,000 for cleanings, and that's $7,000 of income. So clearly these numbers are going to add up. And in terms of your business, you want to have a short-term and a long-term goal. So what do you want for the next 5 years? I'm sure you have these, you have your plans, but what do you really want? Write that down. And then you also need to know your numbers. If you don't know what the lifetime value of one of your patients is, then you need to calculate that and figure out what that is, as well as the CAC, which is the cost of acquisition. So if people are giving patients by word of mouth marketing, there's no real inherent cost there. However, it's going to sort of dry up at some point in time. So now this is kind of a checkpoint. What are you doing? So these are 7 things for you to just take a look at. Are you using social media or not? Are you posting yourself or are you outsourcing? Either way is comparable, but when you post yourself in tandem with somebody that's outsourced, like a company like myself or another company, then you're really giving them an inside look. Are you sharing once a day? Are you sharing once a week? Are you sharing not at all? Think of social media as your television channel. This is your opportunity to really deliver who you are to the world. So once a day or 3 times a week is what we suggest at a bare minimum. Are you using UGC videos? Those are user-generated content. So you're generating that content yourself, and it shows that you're genuine, you're authentic, versus a stock image that you're getting from, Invisalign or Philips Zoom or one of your, manufacturers where somebody's smiling. Everybody has that. They want to see what makes you unique. Are you telling stories or are you selling treatments? Nobody wants to be sold to. We all know what it feels like to go into a used car dealership and they come right up and they ask you what you're looking for and they start selling you. But social media is a great opportunity for you to leverage storytelling. Tell your story. And do you have one-click booking or do you need people to call you to book? When you have social media, you can be 1 click away to booking more patients. And we already talked about the 25% from social or not. A quick pro tip is when you brand yourself, let's say your practice is, Smile Sacramento, like that would be your brand, is Smile Sacramento, and you leverage hashtags, then you can increase your awareness so that more people will find out about you. And so who are we? We're the Seidel Agency. We've worked with countless companies. I'm the founder. I've also created morepayingpatients.com. That's that video tutorial that I mentioned. You can see some awards and things there. But what we love doing is we love transforming lives. And our mission is to impact, inspire, and empower individuals that we work with. And your patients are our priority. So what do? I'm going kind of fast because I want to get it all in there, but you can put the questions in the chat box. So we help aesthetic and dental providers grow using tested and proven procedures. So what we want to do is we want to capture those followers. There was a question earlier. How do we get followers? Well, we want to acquire those followers. The way that you're going to acquire them is by asking them, right? When they come into your practice, hey, would you join my practice? Would you follow us on social media? Another way is to create content so they can learn about you and connect with you. And then you're going to convert them into customers by engaging them. When you start a conversation, then you can engage them. Think of it much like dating. If you see somebody and you say, hey, you want to go out? They're not going to say yes, but if you talk to them, you learn about some interests that you have in common, you prove yourself, then you can convert them. And then, more importantly, it's a lot easier to retain your patients than it is to acquire more. So what we want to do is once they learn about you, have them share the great word about what you're doing. And so we have a lot of accelerators, between websites and logos, we do all of that, but we really want to know your unique selling point. So think about what makes you unique. And who do we help? We help surgeons, derms, you know, a list of dentistry, physicians. There's Daria, Dr. Nassif, Dr. Turkle. We've done a lot of campaigns with Invisalign and Philips Zoom. And so what you want to do, like Daria suggested earlier, is follow KOLs, key opinion leaders, or SMEs, subject matter experts, and see what they're doing and just kind of peek in. And when you're on social media, you can follow their accounts, you can engage, and you can borrow, you know, no need to reinvent the wheel. So today we're going to clean you up. We're going to give you a quick little cleanup, and we're going to show off your smiles. So we're going to talk about the simple, effective marketing system. We're going to talk about 3 questions you need to answer, the 5 biggest mistakes that we're seeing, and then we're going to talk about this $50,000 Instagram formula that Daria even used right before the shutdown. He bought a new device for, you know, $100,000+, and he needed to get more patients to pre-book on that, and he used the strategy. And then we also have a content marketing program we'll share with you. So why does content matter? Everything we're talking about is why. Because when you think about why, it comes from your heart. It's an experience. It means something. So oftentimes people say, oh, what I do is I help people, you know, I change their teeth, I whiten them and give them veneers, but why do you do it? And if you talk about why you do it, then that connects with your heart, and then that creates a connection. And when you create that connection, then you build a community. And then once you build that community and cultivate that, then you can convert them. So that content is key to showing your results. It's going to build your credibility, because now you don't even have to sell yourself. You can say, oh, just go to my Instagram. Just take a look at my work there. And it's going to build that brand like we talked about. And it's also going to become a referral engine so that you can conquest some of the competitors in your marketplace. So chances are there's a lot of other people that are doing something similar, but they're not doing what you're doing. You're special and you are unique, and you need to tap into that. And so when you have that social media channel and people come into your office, you can ask them, hey, let's take a photo, put it on your profile and tag us. And it becomes a referral engine, and it allows you to convert them. And so without social media, you're losing business. And I think, Daria, you once said that you don't exist. And so
Yeah.
you want to know that referral source. And so that referral source is key. Also on the intake form, if you're not asking people how they heard about you, it's a huge business opportunity. So there could be somebody that's referred you 5 patients from the soccer team, or maybe they're a mom and they're in a local mom organization. And if that's working, you want to do more of it. There's a really great tool that Daria uses. We'll talk a little bit. I'll show it to you in a little while. It's called Build My Bod, Get a Quote. And what that does is somebody comes to your website, they want to get a quote, and then you know exactly where the referral source came from. And so what does the content do? I don't know if you've heard this, but content is king. It's kind of a phrase that somebody created. I'm not quite sure where it came about, but we want you to be royal. This is the royal treatment. Daria doesn't mess around. He gives you the best of the best. And we want you to be royal in your approach and the way that you handle your practice. So when you have a practice, you have a funnel. People are going to learn a little bit more about you. They're going to learn, they're going to be aware of you. They're going to, through friends, but social media is going to build that awareness. And then they're going to become interested. And then as you get further and further down that funnel, then they can make a decision, and then they can take action. And that's where that one click comes into place, and where they have the ability to sort of click through and learn a little bit more about your practice. And so what this does, it acquires them, converts them, and retains them like we talked about. And then there was a question about loyalty, referral, and payment programs. You want to make sure you can create one yourself where ultimately they can get a discount for referring friends or for making sure that they come into your practice. And then in addition, you can use lead forms to drive consults. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to show you a couple examples here online. So here is Daria's page. Let's just go ahead and we don't want to unfollow you. So here's the top of his page, and this is a lot of his content. It's very personal to him. So there's different things, but here you see this link tree. And so this is a really wonderful tool. Write it down. It's called Linktree. And what it does is anytime he's talking or posting something on his profile, you can say, click the link in the bio. So all they need to do is click the link in the bio. And then when you click that link, he's actually able to differentiate between multiple links. So he can have his before and afters. I think I hit the wrong link, but he can have his before and afters and those other things. And then one of the other things that I just suggested, this is from a friend of mine. She works with Dr. Amir in LA. She's created a lead form, and she put this in the link. So when somebody comes to their practice, she says, look, we are Dr. Amir Wahab. We specialize in the unforgettable smile. That's what makes him different. And so with that, you can put them through that lead form. What are we seeing there? I can't quite see it.
Can you hear me?
Link trees down?
Yeah, they're undergoing maintenance.
Okay, perfect timing.
That's what I know, right?
See? So we're going to jump back in here. So Linktree is a really great tool. They're doing maintenance. And so what you want to do is you can sign up for that. It's a total free account. And what it allows you to do is have multiple links. So next, the difference between organic versus paid content. So organic is content that you post on your profile, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We largely suggest that you stay on Facebook and Instagram, but to really drive more patients and move the needle figuratively and literally, Instagram is the primary platform. But organic posts are when you post on your platform, just like we saw some of the posts from Daria. And that's shared with people that follow you. But you can also leverage hashtags. So if you put individual hashtags into your post, then you can also open up your discovery portal. So when somebody clicks on a hashtag teeth whitening or hashtag Invisalign, it'll fall under that category. And so the more people engage on your post and leverage the hashtags, it'll allow it to bump up in the algorithm. And then paid posts are, somebody was asking earlier, Google boosting. Paid posts are posts that you can boost within the app where you essentially can choose a targeted audience. So if you're in Dallas or Richmond, like we suggested earlier, you could target everybody in Dallas, that had an interest in dentistry. And so what we suggest here is keeping these posts really short. With social media, you want it to be short and engageable unless you're really telling a story. If you're telling a story, then people will be engaged. But if you're sharing something short and bite-sized, then that's really going to help them. And in terms of short and bite-sized content, video is essential to really growing your practice. And so what it does, it's moving, it's short, and it allows somebody to have an emotional reaction. And so they become moved. And it's the future of marketing. If you're not leveraging videos, then there's a huge opportunity for you. And it could be something as simple as sitting in your chair and saying, I'm happy to be here today. I'm back in work. Or you could put your mask on and talk about your PPE. I'm going to show you some example videos later. But you have 7 seconds, and then they disappear because they no longer have interest. So I'm going to go ahead and jump out of this and go back to Daria's page here. So this is an example of a hashtag. So this is teeth whitening. So here, if you go in here in the search part of Instagram, it's a mobile platform, and you put in hashtag teeth whitening, it's going to give you some related hashtags. Hashtag teeth cleaning, hashtag white smile. And these are all great hashtags, hashtag Invisalign, that you can leverage and put on your post to be discoverable. So these are the most popular posts within that hashtag. So instead of reinventing the wheel, you can just go down, see what's working. Obviously, you're going to see before and afters. You're going to see some other examples. And so going back to here, let me know if you can hear this. So that was one of Dr. Hamrah's posts here that we have in terms of the differences between an image and a video. So clearly when you listen to that video, you felt something. It touched you. And that's the beauty of video, is not only did it have the play arrow on it, so somebody wanted to click it and learn more, but the music created an experience. It almost gave me chills. In fact, it did give me chills. There's a lot going on in the world, so it's up to you if you want to comment on social activity, but studies show if you're transparent and authentic in your approach, that you're actually going to gain followers and people that value you for stepping up. And so that's where that Black Lives Matter works, and having that video as well. And so now we want to talk about Instagram, which is where Daria has focused a lot of his energy. Here's Lori Robertson. She's a physician we've worked with. She's basically saying that Instagram is your virtual consultation because it has millennials, Gen X, it has boomers now. And I don't know if you're familiar with the feed, but it's native. So it's one solid scroll. So it makes it easy to be discovered. Whereas Facebook is pay to play, where you can do a post on Facebook, but the odds of people seeing it are pretty slim unless they're going to check out your page, which isn't too frequent. That's where you really need to create valuable content. And so Instagram, it's growing fast. It's aesthetics focused, so they can see those beautiful teeth. They can see the smiles. And over 200 million users visit one business a day. It's 75% of businesses actually using it. So are you going to be the 25% that doesn't use it? That's your choice. And in turn, 37 active US adults are using it. So you can connect with these adults, and they also have their children that need those checkups. If you're going to leverage Instagram, they give you an opportunity to use filters and certain tools. You want to be consistent. You want to be posting once a day. You don't want to have 18,000 different filters. So you want to try and find a flow where it's pretty consistent. So here, this is perfect for you. So these are our Instagram page crowns to keep you royal. And so if you're in dentistry, you're familiar with crowns, but this is an acronym. I'm a huge fan of acronyms. And so the C stands for consistency, like we talked about before. The R is your response time. Much like any lead, if somebody calls your office and they say, hey, I'm interested, and you wait more than a day, you've probably lost them. So you really need to be on top of your response time. And one of the ways to do that is to leverage your LinkedIn profile and say, hey, click the link in the bio and book an appointment. Because if you're having to call them and write back and do all that, you really want to have a specified page where you can make it easy for them to just put in their information, and then you can call them back. And then that way, at least you've taken that burden off of your shoulder. O stands for optimize for business. So in the Instagram platform, in the settings, you can optimize your page for business. And this gives you visibility for the analytics. And it also helps you be more discoverable. And the W is the word of mouth referral engine. Like we said before, when you post about a patient experience, you tag them and then they can share it. We're working with a client right now, and we did a before and after, and we had 5 people that talked about an amazing experience. So we went ahead and direct messaged them and said, hey, we're so glad you had an amazing experience. Would you mind if we shared this? Do you have a picture that we can share? And they all said yes. So now you have 5 new posts of your patients smiling that you can post and comment them on, and they can share it with their friends. The N is notifications on. You want to ask your patients and followers to keep their notifications on, so when you post, they see them. And then the S stands for storytelling. So you really want to tell these stories around your results. You don't just want to say, hey, we do teeth whitening. You want to say, this woman came in recently and she'd been drinking coffee for 35 years and she really felt down on herself. And then we whitened her teeth and she went out and got a new job and felt great about herself. And so when you talk about the results in the story, people read that and they say, huh, I drink coffee. Oh, I felt that way as well. Let me learn more about it. And we talked about the intake form. Add that to
Steve. I think someone is waiting for you to let them in. Can you check your waiting room?
Sure thing.
Sorry to interrupt.
No worries. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. So
was someone waiting?
Yeah, there was somebody waiting there. Yes.
Good,
so let's
perfect.
see who's waiting.
Oh, yeah, there she is. I see her now. Good, perfect.
Okay.
She just texted me.
Okay, great. So we had a couple people waiting. Sorry about that. We were in the report there. So we're going to get back into the deck that we were talking about. Let's just bring this back down. Where did that go? Of course, it disappeared. 1 second, please. Oh, if you could just mute yourself, whoever, let's just mute them here. I'll go ahead and mute you guys. Okay, great, thanks. So I'm just gonna go back. If you were just joining, we're talking about the power of Instagram. So the page crowns, you guys can all have this deck afterwards. I'll give you my email and I'll send it to you. But consistency, response, optimized for business, word of mouth, notifications on, and then stories for results. And here we have the next, which is
Yeah, please mute your.
All right, I'll go ahead and mute them. All right, I got them muted. Cool. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go back here. I'm going to show you some accounts. So these are some pages. Can you all see that? Let me just share that with you. These are some really cool Instagram pages that you guys can take a few insights from. So this is Grand Street Dental. They do cosmetic and restorative dentistry. See what they do there. They talk about how they were profiled in Forbes, New York Mag. That gives you social proof. So when someone comes, they're immediately going to check out your profile. You want to make it simple to read and have, a couple of bullet points. Book an appointment online, like we talked about earlier. 1 click of a button. And so what they do here is they have, it's a really personality-driven page. They have some pictures of teeth. They have some of their staff. Here's another one. This is Dr. Tostano. So he does oral surgery as well. He's got 162,000 followers, but all this comes from posting. You never want to buy any followers. And so what he does is he kind of gives you a similar approach where it's more of a glitz glamour, and he's giving you some insights into some of the publications he's been on. And those before and afters are going to be key. We suggest about 1/3 of your posts be before and afters. We'll get into more of that in a little bit. So this is the dental products report. This is a really great page to follow where it gives you updates within the dentistry industry, and they also share individuals. So if you have something that is revolutionary, maybe it's a webinar, or maybe it's a new CME course, you can share that with them. This is another one. This is a little bit on the far extreme of things, This is Bloody Tooth Guy. I wanted to share it. I don't traditionally, I'm not going to stay on it too long, but you can see he has a lot of individual posts that people want to look about and they want to learn. And then this is a really fun one. It's Easy Funshine. She works in dentistry, but she finds really creative ways to share teeth in different individual posts. And then last but not least, this is Smile and Company. And this is a super simple way where there was a lot of people that said, look, you know, I don't want to be a personality. I don't want to be in front of the camera. What they do is they just leverage simple messages. They show the team, they show the office. It gives you a feeling of, you know, it's very nice to walk in there, and they have quotes and they have different examples. And then here we'll come back to that. That's Dr. Hamrah's account. So we're going to head back into.
See if Linktree is working or not.
Okay. Yeah, let's go back. We'll check out Linktree. So
it's working now.
Okay, great. So this is still down. Okay.
Click it again because it just worked on mine.
Okay, let's click it again. Let's copy link address. Let's go here. We'll put it in here. We'll paste it. All right. It might not be working on mobile. Sometimes there's a few hiccups there, but what we'll do is we're going to jump back to the deck here.
Because that's really one of the game changers.
It is. So Linktree, it's super simple. It's a link where you can have multiple links under, and then like before, you're going to say, click the link in my bio. You always want to have one primary call to action. You don't want to have 1,000 of them. So click the link in the bio, and within that bio, you can have your other additional calls to action, whether it's listening to your podcast like Daria has, or getting a quote with the Get a Quote engine, or maybe it's check out the before and afters, or learn a little bit more about my training. So this is your content. These are, we call them just like before, your veneers, and it's another acronym. So they need to be visual. They need to be educational. You need to be educating people. When you educate someone, they want to learn more. They ask questions. When they ask questions, you can demonstrate your expertise. Be natural. You know, make sure you're transparent. Make sure you're authentic. You want to engage as well. So make sure you pose a question, or potentially let them know, hey, we recently did this. Have you had a similar concern? Or you can take a frequently asked question and share that. And you want to entertain as well. So when you entertain, those videos are going to be key because it's going to entertain them. It's going to be a few seconds where they feel, like they're entertained by your personality. You want to make sure that you have a personality at your practice. Whether it's you or your team, they need to see faces on the other end of your social media posts, because there's a lot of bots, there's a lot of robots, there's a lot of companies that are out there these days where you just don't know. So they need to see a face that's smiling. So make sure you choose someone accordingly. The R stands for results driven. So these are before and afters. So as well as some of your content. So you want to make sure you're showing results, and then the story of your patients. One other suggestion we have is to capture testimonials at your front desk. So if you get their name on the intake form when they're leaving, did you have a great visit today? Hey, would you mind filling out a testimonial? You can have an iPad, or you can have them film a video right before they leave. Okay, let's go ahead and do the next one. So what 3 questions should you be answering? So the first question is, why you? You need to share your unique story. Over here on the side, you can see some of Daria's posts. He's demonstrating why him. He's showing credentials. He's showing his personality. He's showing his smile. He's very charismatic. And some of you might say, hey, I'm not very charismatic. Well, you don't need to be charismatic, but you can demonstrate that you are, very seasoned and talented. You can talk about your rewards. You could have your credentials in the back. And secondly, who do you help? So when you share a story and you help moms or you help families, talk about those families. A simple solution is when somebody says, what do you do? I help X to Y so that Z. So you could say, we help families, achieve their best smile so that they can feel good about themselves. And then that will resonate. And then the last question that you want to try and answer, and you can look back on your posts, is it valuable? Is it something that your target market, your audience, it's much like a TV show, if it's not valuable to them, they're going to tune out. Is it valuable? And so you want to think about the features first and the benefits second. So you can say, having a great smile would be wonderful, and the benefits to doing that or having whiter teeth are you're going to feel better about yourself when you're talking publicly. And so those are a couple of key tools to add there. And then your first 10 caption words are crucial, because when somebody's scrolling, that's what they're going to see. So you may want to capture them with like hashtag testimonial Tuesday, or, check out this really wonderful story. So then they become intrigued. The next slide here is, what are the 5 biggest mistakes being made? So you are selling, not showing. So you don't want to be constantly saying, hey, we have a promo, we have a promo, we have a promo. You want to talk about what's going on, the amazing stories, and how you're helping them and what value you're delivering. So the second one is, you're not delivering value. It's more promos. It's more repurposed content. It's not videos that you created. And the third is, you're tracking the wrong metrics. You want to make sure that people are engaging. if you set up your account for a business profile, you can just go back, even if you're not, how many people like that post? How many people commented on it? Oh, wow, that was great. Let's do that one again. And then fourth is you have inconsistent calls to action. One day it's a discount on whitening. Next day it's get a free checkup. Next day it's, we have a special practitioner coming to do Botox. That's where that link tree is really going to consolidate your calls to action. And then last is you're not using Instagram stories. And those are actually the easiest of them all, because those are simple stories that can be shared for behind the scenes looks. And with that, you need to have a content system. And if you don't, then you're missing out. And that's what we're going to talk to you a little bit more about. A quick pro tip is maybe you're hashtagging #dentist versus #Invisalign. And you really want to talk about the solution to the pain points. So Invisalign or teeth whitening or veneers, as opposed to dentist. Not too often do people go and say, hey, let me go on Instagram and look up #dentist. They may look up #your city. So these are some of the things that we deal with when we're doing the consulting and some of our course. And so how can you book more business on Instagram? It's videos and creating content. And so what I'd love to do here is I'm going to exit out. These are 9 proven videos that, given our experience in the marketplace, we've helped 3 recent companies get 8-figure acquisitions. So these are videos that are proven to work. A boomerang video is one that kind of loops forward and back. It's very exciting. A contest campaign, expertise credentialing, take a frequently asked question and answer it, meet your staff, know your objections like payment plans, credit care. You could talk about getting free things that come in addition to what you're doing. Results-driven explainers, testimonial videos, that's capturing them in their office before they leave, and then also giving them a view of what your office looks like. Because ideally, they will know, like, and trust you. And if you're not on social media, they won't know you. And if you're not showcasing personality and really giving, who you really are, they're not going to like you. And then if you're not giving them the results to showcase that you have an expertise in this, then they're not going to trust you. And so what I'd like to do is,
well, I say you don't exist. If you don't have a social media account, you don't exist. I mean, a new study shows that 62% of people, for the first time looking to get a service in cosmetic, whether dentistry or surgery, is they first go on social media, then they go on the website to validate. So you're losing out on the majority of the top funnel.
Yeah. And so what I want to do is I just want to come back here. I'm going to show you this quick little thing here where, so basically what this is, we can send this over afterwards, but this has, the boomerang, the contest, all these things that are proven to help you out. And so let's come back here to the deck. So next, this is the great $50,000 Instagram video formula that Daria leveraged. And that's the video over here. We're going to watch this in 1 second. This is really important. And so we have another acronym for you. It's called GREAT. So first in the video, you want to grab their attention, because if it's, boring, or you're not saying, hey, do you want to learn how to, hey, do you want to learn how to make $50,000 with one video? Oh, my attention. Or, hey, are you struggling with, feeling good when you go outside in public? These are ways where you grab their attention. And then you restate the problem. And so restating the problem, we just talked about, maybe you don't have confidence, or maybe their tooth is chipped. Maybe they need to have, Invisalign. There's some issues there. Then the third one is E stands for explanation. You want to explain to them how you are going to solve the problem. And that could be like a video animation. That could be a tutorial. That could be anything, but you want to grab their attention, restate the problem, explain, look, we have a great solution. It could be a simple device. Hey, we have, a simple device, and you can talk about that device, just name it. And then give them an actual example. And you could talk about the downtime, you can talk about the recovery, or you can just talk about, a father who came in during Father's Day and he hadn't had his teeth cleaned in a while. And then when he did and he left the office, he felt amazing, and, he had an amazing experience because he found out when you floss, it actually puts 5 years on your life from a recent survey. And then the T stands for testimonial. So that's where you just give a recent testimonial, where it could be social proof, where you're from a magazine or from a recent patient. And then last but not least, that compelling cover photo is much like anything. You want to have an image that's going to capture their attention. And so what I'd love to do is show you the video that actually got Daria the $50,000. Let's come on over here of pre-booking. So here we go. So this is the second half. You saw that one? So as you can see, you get a feel for it. Hopefully, if you're like me and you watch that video, you actually felt something from that. And just like we talked about before, grab the attention. He had the question there that grabbed your attention in the music. Right out of the gate, you're engaged. He restated the problem. He was talking about some of the issues that people would have with their skin. Then he explained the solution. Boom, right in front. It said in mode, and it talked a little bit about how it's resolved. Then he gave you an example, about some of the downtime and the recovery. And this can be a combination of the video and the text, either or. And then lastly, he had a testimonial that the future is here. This is one of the world-renowned devices that's changing the game. And so that was the $50,000 video. So now I'm going to talk to you about some things here. And like I said, I'm going to give you my email at the end. I'll send this deck over to you so you don't have to write it all down. But these are a few Instagram products. I went ahead there. Let's come back to it. That you can try before you buy. That's what everybody wants. When you're working with a dental practice, it's good. We call it a value ladder where you step them through one by one. So usually you have a low, a mid, and a high ticket. But ideally, you're going to address it with what they need. But if you give them something for free, which is your content, or maybe you give them a free cleaning and then you throw some things on there, they're more apt to try something before they buy. And so same thing is similar with social media and content. So in terms of some apps, if you're looking for stock photos, to try and give yourself a little bit of a feel where you don't have as many in-office photos right now, you can go to Pexels or Pixabay or Unsplash. If you're looking to do a little bit of editing, it's very simple. You can literally take your logo, make sure you have a PNG file. That's really important. You can get that from your designer. We do logos as well if you need them, or we can convert them, so just let me know. It's a PNG file, and then you can overlay that on your images and or your videos. And then in terms of video editing, I believe Daria uses InShot and Video Leap. There's Magisto. There's another one called Headliner app, and that'll actually put the text on the bottom. So sometimes people are scrolling when they're not looking. That really helps because they can read it. And then there's really fun memes where people can do fun, ways that they take images and engaging humor. You need to be able to laugh at yourself and put some humor because that's self-deprecating, and nobody wants to work with somebody that's, takes himself way too seriously. So when you use memes, I can help you. And you can put them in your Instagram stories if you don't really want to have them on your profile. And then you can also schedule your posts. So you can create these posts and you can schedule them. And so they will go out on their own through a push notification, through Later, Planoly, and then Buffer. And then another product, like I said, you can try out morepayingpatients.com, which is our course. It's a 9-lesson course. It basically walks you through all of Instagram, how to set up your profile, how to shoot videos, the apps that you need, how to really demonstrate a higher standard of care. And over there on the right, that's basically, we're giving you guys away as a, because Daria and I are close friends and he really wants to give back towards you guys. So you guys can try it the first 2 lessons and it'll walk you through it, or you can just go at it yourself. There was an old proverb that says, if you want to go fast, do it yourself. But if you want to drive further, surround yourself with a successful team and a successful system. So you can test it, but what we have is a system that'll sort of walk you through it. So we've gotten rid of all the trial and error. But you want to make sure that you're optimizing Instagram for conversions, that you're using it for that higher standard of care, and that you're bringing those patients back. And so what I want to do real quick is I'm going to exit out of this real quick. And I'm going to show you where so over here, so these are the videos. So here's an example. Basically, we tell you how to set up your profile. And we're giving you, we've worked with several physicians. Those are all testimonials, like we said. But we walk you through how to set it up. Those are 5 lessons there. And then lesson 2, we tell you how to use your smartphone to create high quality Instagram videos. And then if you're interested, you can grab the full course. But at the end of the day, what we want to do is to give you guys the tools so that you can learn how to create this content yourself. And then if you have additional questions, you can work with us. We help consult. And then we can also give you those lessons for free. And then if you guys wanted some social media management, you said, look, we're too busy, we would be more than gladly to do it for you. And we give you guys the course for free as well. And so what we want to learn, what did you learn today about social? It is your most important tool. Your content will unlock your practice growth. Instagram is essential to drive revenue. Competitors are targeting your patients on those social media platforms. So if you don't do it, somebody else will. And those who take action are rewarded. So think about one thing that you can change today. And here's just quick. This is Jonathan Kaplan. He actually introduced myself to Daria. That's how I met him. He runs a company called Build My Bod. And what it is, it's a get a quote engine. It's just a simple line of text. You put it at the top of your website, and then ultimately you can capture that as lead organically. This is MiraDry we've worked with as well. And so I want to say thanks, and then I'm gonna leave that slide up. If you want to email me, my email is steve@theseidelagency.com. You should have gotten an email from me already. I'm happy to answer additional questions. But now let's go ahead and jump into the questions that we have here in the box. Okay. So let's see here. We had a question about how to capture followers. If you have additional questions, you guys can put it in the box. But to capture the followers, like we said before, ask for their name on the user intake form. Secondly, you want to also get them to go to your page. And then to get them to become a follower, you want to deliver valuable content. And then last but not least, you can also do paid promotions where you're targeting the right individuals.
And one thing, want to comment to your the importance of social media, just so that people get context. So just so that it's clear, social media is not an option. Like, I remember it was 12 years ago, I came to town and I just went around and introduced myself to a bunch of colleagues that I'm in town. And I had my website out, I had all my ducks in a row, only to find out that there's so many that still didn't have websites. So it blew my mind. And now I understand why that was, because they were like phasing out, they were thinking of retirement, and they said, well, I'm not gonna invest in building a website, it's not worth it, it costs a lot of money, and I'm just like phasing out anyways, I don't care. Now, if you're that type of dentist now, yeah, social media is not for you. But if you're a dentist, if you're in a stage of your business where you want to grow, where you want to be able to get cases that are not insurance-based, that are more aesthetic-based, that not only are more fun, but also bring hugely amount of revenue, you really have to think of it as the you that 10 years ago had a website, everything running. And so if you don't have a social media account, or if you're not active, by active meaning daily, not like once a week or whenever you feel like it, it's like you 10 years ago not having a website and relying on your name and number on yellow pages. Like, you won't exist. And 5 years from now, you won't even exist. Even today, right now, to majority of people between the ages of teenager until like 35, you really don't exist unless someone refers the patient to you. But I mean, if you do the same thing that everybody else is already doing, I don't know how, I don't know, for 10 years, I was spinning my wheels thinking of how can I break through the ceiling? So I had reached the ceiling within 5 years, and then I just couldn't break that ceiling. And I was looking at some that were really like breaking it. They were like everywhere. They were known as the experts. And I'm like, how's this guy an expert? I'm much better. And why is this guy an expert? It's because he was huge in social media, and I didn't even have an account. So I quickly realized that to a lot of people, I don't even exist. They don't know who I am. So social media, again, is the #1 platform where you show people that don't know you, that just find you through a hashtag and all of a sudden get engaged through the types of posts that Steve showed you. You grab their attention. They start following you one by one as they get interested in not only your product, but also in you, as long as you bring them value. And that's the key. Your posts have to bring people value. If you don't bring them value, like Steve says, if you just give them, hey, discount on Invisalign here, discount on this there, free cleaning here. Everybody does that. It's like people even, it's a turnoff. It's like, wow, how desperate is that person? So you need to engage. You've got to bring them value. You got to give things for free. So I call it like jab, 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 and then punch. So you give them free stuff, value, education, just give them content, just educate them, teach them stuff that you know, stuff that you're passionate about. That's your profession. I hope you're passionate about it. So just teach them. And then as they come up with questions, they will come to you. So in essence, you make them come to you. That's when you lock them down through easy access, meaning have a link where someone's like, hey, can I talk to you about, I was thinking about getting my teeth straightened, so can I have like a virtual consult? Absolutely, yes. Click on this link, we'll hook you up. So in order to capture those, you also have to check it, just like you hopefully check your emails on a daily basis. You got to check your messages that you get on here on a daily basis. Now, in order for all of that to happen, you have to feel comfortable with it. Now, how do you become comfortable with it, social media? How can you, by comfortable, I mean, how do you become comfortable navigating? Because, Steve, that's, to me, one of the biggest challenges of many. They're just not comfortable because they just don't know their way around. So whenever you're not comfortable with something, you tend not to use it. You tend to put it aside. So the only way to get comfortable is just practice. You practice. You can't become a pianist. You can't learn the piano by listening to someone playing the piano. You actually have to go play it yourself. So by practicing, what's the best way to practice? What's the best way to start? Follow a bunch of gurus out there, a bunch of people that have figured it out. Just follow them. And then their posts will show up. See how they do it. See what they do. And see if you actually can, if you like them based on what they do. You will get a feel of where you are, where you want to be, and then just you're going to be the person you are, because ultimately people's got to like you. They can't like an image that's fake of you. So, and you just have to be transparent and authentic. That's really, in your post, it has to come out.
Hey, Daria, let me just show them real quick. So the link tree is back up. And one other thing that I wanted to mention is in the 2 free lessons that we gave, we have a homework video. And there's a pro tip in every single lesson. So there's 9 lessons with 5 sub lessons within that, but there's a homework video. Because much like he said, it's like, I don't want to call it school, but it's practice makes profit. You know, at the end of each one, it tells you shoot the video and then you just go do it. You can choose to put it in a file in a folder on your phone and then use them, or you can choose not to. But by doing that practice, you become, you know, a lot more well-versed. So let's just show them the link tree. So
yeah, they have to use it. I mean, unless you use it, it's not going to work.
So the link tree, by the way, I wanted to mention, if you want to follow us at theseidelagency.com and share with us, or you've taken screenshots, I would love to connect with everyone. But when you go to this link tree here, we have it as well. Everybody who has it. And, you know, what we suggest to everybody is really having this setup here. So it's real easy. So at the top, you talk about your, you know, most important fact, and then you have your individual logos, put a couple of emojis that makes it seem like you're hip and everything. And so then when you click Dr. Hamrah's link tree, here we are. What do we have, Dr. Hamrah?
So this is a price estimator. So probably 80% of the questions I used to get, not anymore because of this, I used to get is people asking about prices. Because people are shopping around. They look you up. They like you. Now they want to know, can they afford you? So you got to be transparent and make it easy. So with Jonathan Kaplan's site here, I was able, it's called Price Estimator. So they click on it. So now click on it. So when you click on it, it gets linked to my website, and where's a price estimator. So on the left side, you can pick whatever procedure that I do. You click on it, it puts it in the cart on the top right, and then you can see how much it costs. Now, in the past, people used to say it's not good to talk about price. It's not ethical. Well, we've come way past that. I mean, as a matter of fact, there's soon going to be a law about price transparency where you have to actually present your prices. So this is, again, is looking into the future. However, in my practice, and for a lot of my colleagues, it's already the present. And that alone, Steve, has really has really increased my booking number because it's just a subconscious feeling of me being transparent makes them, I guess, makes them feel more comfortable with booking.
One of the things about that, Jonathan calls it price transparency. So there's that care there and being transparent. And the beauty of that is if somebody drops something in this cart, and you can create deep links from this. So you know, Daria could take this link. If somebody says, hey, I want to know how to do X, Y, Z, he could send that via Instagram in a direct message, and that'll bring them right in there and capture all of their information. And then if they don't finish checking out, it sends you a notification and it sends them a notification. So it's a really great way to capture those leads. And if you put the Seidel Agency when you check out, I think you get a 20% discount as well, because we're a partner of his. So if anybody wants to sign up.
It's so cheap. Like when I signed up for it, when I heard the price, it was so cheap. I didn't even think twice. I'm like, when can I get it done as soon as possible?
And it's just a line of text that you give it to your web designers. We can do it for you as well. We work with tons of websites. And so you have the online store here as well, right?
Yeah, and that's another thing. I created an e-commerce website, and throughout the pandemic, I mean, that went up like, I think like 15-fold my sales on that part, just because people couldn't come in to get their skincare products. And I had just set it up right before the pandemic. And again, it's another also way. So you have to look at these things at multiple platforms. So one is, yes, someone can go and buy stuff, but then again, it helps with branding. It helps with relevance. It helps with Google ranking. So again, one thing that Steve, that I think we should mention is that all these things, they actually increase your Google ranking, because Google looks at where you're featured, who goes on the areas that you're featured. Even increased number of followers on Instagram have been shown to improve your ranking, your SEO ranking Google. If I'm not
you're
mistaken.
you're one click away from wherever you want. So with these, you're always one click away to your website. When people are going to your website,
Yeah.
Google says, whoa, hey, let's start ranking him a little bit higher in terms of the search rankings. And so we talked a little bit earlier about SEO and search, but by default, you will be climbing the rankings, and it's of no cost to you.
Yeah.
And then the other link here.
And that's my website, of course. And that's a messenger. If a lot of people like to use Facebook Messenger, or you can even put your WhatsApp there.
Yeah.
A lot of Latinos and Latinas, they love that. They love Facebook Messenger and they love WhatsApp. So I tried to I didn't put too many links, but enough to cater to a vast majority of people. And then last but very not least, if you haven't subscribed to my podcast, now is the time to do so. And it's a lot of great value, great content. What I do, I basically interview. It's about storytelling of people that have succeeded, that we can take a piece out of their lives, out of their experience, to apply to our lives and then succeed from there. That's what my podcast is about. I meet very amazing people like Steve and others that are super successful. So that's how the idea came. I said, I could just share these stories in my podcast. I could just make a podcast. And all of this, honestly, it's just my hobby. That's what I'm passionate about. So I really taught it myself, and I hope you like it. And I would love for you to, I got 20 ratings. That's good. Is that current here?
Yeah, that's real
perfect.
Real time. But that's
so
you're building your brand, and so it all started. Yeah.
So I love for you to actually, and by the way, I didn't invent all of this. I just looked at what people have done that have succeeded, and I just took a script out of their playbook, and it's increased. I'm right now booked until end of July, and it's just crazy. And all of that is the momentum that was built in the pandemic through all my social media marketing efforts. I never had that many out-of-towners come for my procedures ever in 12 years of practice than after the pandemic. People actually are willing to travel in the pandemic, get on a plane and come here to have something done. Whereas in the past, where there was no pandemic, and actually safer to do so, very rarely. And that's attributed completely to social media. To give you an example quickly, because people say like, well, it's going to take a long time. Listen, it took me 2 years to get here. So this is something you have to be in it for the long haul. It requires stamina, consistency, persistency. Don't expect overnight to get 10,000 followers. Okay. It's not going to happen overnight. So and you shouldn't be focusing, by the way, on that. You should be just focusing on putting what you're passionate about, posting what you're passionate about, and not taking too long to do that. Just do it. You have an idea, you want to share something, you just post it. Don't worry about if it's perfect or not. Just as long as you do it, you can move on. And then don't worry about how many followers you have. Don't worry about how many likes you get. Those things are good for analytics to kind of see what type of posts you should probably post more. But a lot of what I do, for example, is really spontaneous, and because it's because I'm passionate about it, usually it's the right thing. And now, just to share a little story. So yesterday I did a rhinoplasty. Steve, I haven't talked to you about this story, but that's for the dentist out there. Very interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't get the patient came all the way from Richmond, and she didn't find me. Her brother, who lives in New York, finds me on Instagram, follows me for like 6 months, becomes a fan. He calls me the nose doctor. I mean, there's many great nose doctors, but his sister in Richmond had the botched surgery many years ago, super unhappy with her nose, had previous plastic surgeon did her nose. He tells her to come and see me. Okay. He tells her to come see me. She drives all the way here for a consultation. And all I had to do, like you said, social media is already my virtual consult. It's already sold it. And before she came, I did a virtual consult through FaceTime with her because she just wanted to talk to me. So I did a virtual consultation. And then she booked, she came, and then she scheduled. A week later, I did her surgery, which was yesterday. Her brother flies in from New York to be with her because they got a hotel next door to my office, because she's actually there now, right next door in the DoubleTree. The brother comes to me and says, hey, I was thinking for the longest time to fix my nose, and I want you to do it. I'm like, wait a second. So, and then he told me the story. He says, well, I actually was following you. I told my sister to come here. And by the way, do you know a good dentist in New York? I need veneers. I want to get all my teeth fixed. I mean, that's like, for the dentists out there, that's a $25,000 case. Absolutely. Easily, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So where are you on Instagram?
Yeah.
Like why doesn't he, I mean, he found me, and now, so for me, it was easy. I know he's a social media guy. I'm like, follow this guy. He's the man in New York. So I referred him to Dean Vafiadis, who's the guru. So I said, Dean, I got someone for you. So with social media, you don't only communicate with your patients, but you communicate with the network of your colleagues. Someone in LA might be following you who's also a dentist, and he sees your stuff or she sees your stuff and is impressed. A patient that has a daughter or a sister here in DC is looking for a dentist, and that person in LA is already like, he knows you because he's been following you. He's like, he knows you. He says, yeah, go see Dr. Brohani. Go see Dr. Anderson. She's amazing. I know her work. So it's about networking also. So you have to look at it in a broader perspective rather than just getting followers. So I just wanted to share that story.
And
so
you can cross promote too. Like Kaplan does something with Dr. Miami. You do other things. You could take over, but it's that concierge service. And so the fact that they FaceTimed you and you said, I'll take care of you. That's all anybody, at the end of the day, if there's 3 simple words, we will take care of you. That's probably 5. But if you say we will take care of you, that's all anybody wants to hear. And that's what your social media allows you to do.
And one more thing, you have to take pictures. So a lot of people ask me, what do I post? I'm like, before and afters. I'm like, well, how do I get them? I'm like, you got to start taking before and afters. By the way, all my photos, everything you see on my social media, and just go look at it, just go browse. I just took it with the iPhone, I edited it with the iPhone, and I posted it with the iPhone. So you could do that. Those apps that Steve showed you on the slide, I do it with those. That's all I use. So everything is done with the phone. You don't need a computer. You don't need all of that. And how do you do it? You have to teach yourself or have ask Steve, or you can also ask me. But Steve is the expert. I mean, I wish, Steve, I had met you 2 years ago. I would have saved 10 to 20 hours a week. And by the way, I spend about 10 hours a week on this stuff. Before I learned, while I was learning it, and I'm still learning, I spent 20 hours a week on that. So you got to be involved, you got to be engaged, and you got to be in it. Otherwise, it doesn't appear just like that. And be spontaneous, okay? Share stories spontaneously. People want to get to know you. They don't want to see some poster of a discount or a picture of a tooth. That's boring. So you've got to be engaging.
Yeah. Shine. Be royal. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining today. You have the documents. If you guys want to email me, I put your email down there as well, and would love to help you guys out if you ever need any assistance or answer any questions. I'm more than happy. I think I spoke to most and a couple people, so I'm more than happy to help you guys out and take a look at your pages and give you some simple tips to increase your engagement. Thanks, awesome, everyone.
Hey, thank you, Steve.
All right. Thanks, Daria.
Thanks everybody for tuning in, and shoot any questions, and don't forget to subscribe to my podcast.
Get on there. Subscribe to his podcast. Subscribe to the Seidel Agency. And go out there and make a difference in this world. Thank you, everybody.
Let's do this. You can do this. If I can do it, you can do it. So.
Absolutely.
Take care, guys. Have a good evening.